Let's talk about the rappers for a minute. Can we talk about the rappers for a moment? Let's talk about Tupac Shakur for a moment. Tupac Shakur is a child of the 60s. Tupac Shakur, born out of the spirit of the revolution of the 60s. Tupac Shakur, fire in his bones, huh? Boldness and rebellion in his blood. Born from his beautiful, bold Black Panther mama, Afeni, sitting in the jail cell, a revolutionary woman carrying the fruit of life, marking the child in her womb, marking the child with rebellion, marking the child with insurrection, marking the child with a spirit to not go along with what's been going on.
How did you meet Tupac?
Originally, we met on the set of A Different World, which is a television show I did for many years. But then I saw him after the show had ended, and he was getting very popular. And they questioned me at the Image Awards. You know how you go into the press tent afterwards, and I thought they were going to congratulate me on the award I got, but they wanted to know how I felt about this guy, Tupac, being nominated for an Image Award. And I answered the question. They came back, you know, when people aren't satisfied with your answers, and they kind of got under my skin. And I said, I'm not disrespecting Tupac here, if that's the kind of party you want to go to. I'm not doing it. And they printed that in the paper and what I said about Tupac, because I had heard, keep your head up. And I heard this song that he wrote for his mother, Dear Mama.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
So I didn't know what they were talking about when they said he was dissing women and wasn't down with women.
Don't you know when love is sweet? Dear Mama.
And I said, what are you talking about?
She wasn't an easy mother.
No.
No, I mean, to say the least. To the point, he really never knew his father till years later.
He met his father around the time that he got shot. There was a lot going on during that time. When I met them, there was a lot of very big events happening. First of all, he was shot 5 times. Somebody wanted him dead. And walking around knowing that really affected Tupac's spirit.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of what I call spiritual fortification going around him. I mean, we were really just trying to give that life back to him. There was fear.
Yeah.
There was a lot of mistrust, almost like anybody involved with his recuperation had to go underground to even deal, because nobody could know anything, because he was sure the people that shot him knew him, that it wasn't a random mugging.
Not 5.
No.
Not 5 shots. Yeah.
And then on top of that, he gets a visit from his biological father.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen since he was a young boy, maybe 3 or 4. And for me, sitting on the sidelines while all of that is going on, my heart would always just stop for a while and then come back, because these are very emotional times. And I wasn't a member of the family, but I was always around. And for whatever Afeni embraced me for, I really wanted to support them. And not just Tupac, but also that family that depended on him completely.
Because after Tupac's death, all of the leeches come to get the money.
It was amazing. I would oftentimes forget how famous Tupac was.
Yeah.
When you're on the inside, you just forget. And when I realized
Jasmine,
that we're going to...
you weren't exactly, you know, unknown.
Yo!
Oh, I know you're not talking to me.
You're right. I'm talking to that fine sister over there.
I mean, you were a star. You are a star. But I mean, it goes with that territory.
You know, when you're in your own skin, especially when you're with family,
Yeah.
you really forget. I mean, I have been caught off guard many times, like, oh yeah, people are going to recognize me because I'm so into where I am. And
Yeah.
but with Tupac, and that kind of stardom is different from mine. That's rock star stardom and movie star stardom. It's like, can I touch your garment stardom. He had major respect from people. I mean, when he would walk the streets, and so does Afeni.
Yeah.
Especially in New York and places where they live, they really know them, and they consider them the spokespeople of their lives. You know, they're the ones getting the messages out there.
What was that like to find yourself in the middle of the headlines, not just with your own career, but with a megastar as well in the rap industry?
Well, he was very talented, of course, but it was more about healing him and getting him strong, because he had a lot to deal with on the business level, and to be there for his family, because that was a very traumatizing time. People we hear about getting shot so much that we become a little callous to how devastating it is to know that, you know, somebody had held a gun in your face and wanted you dead. So it wasn't long after that until we realized that Tupac wasn't going to be able to, he didn't want to stay in the hospital or at his girlfriend's house. So they called me to see if I could keep him while he was convalescing from the wounds. He had, I think, 5 bullet wounds that he was healing from. And he didn't feel safe sitting up in the hospital bed. For me, it was more being there for the family and the trauma they were all going through. A very close-knit family, and I just felt happy that I could help in some way, and that they allowed me to come in to their very close circuit, and also that Tupac could chill a little bit and try and get better.
What were her thoughts after almost 20 years past Tupac's murder that it was still unsolved?
We didn't really talk about that. You know, I read things, but I really didn't bring that back to the family. I knew they were dealing with a lot, and, you know, if she wanted to talk about it, she could with me, but we really didn't discuss that.